guys. You're going to get some really valuable information from Puente tonight, so thank you for joining us.
Hi, my name is Carlos Cornejo. I am the program manager for the Utah South region. I've been with LIA for just a little bit over a year. I loved it. We're all passionate about what we do, and especially education. And so this week and tonight is really special for us. We love doing this, so we're excited, and thank you all for being here.
Perfect. And then our official LI DJ Azuquita, is here with us as well. Azuquita, if you could just quickly introduce yourself.
Perfect. Yes, my name is Luis Castro. As Akela mentioned, I started with LIA as the DJ 17 years ago. And the last couple of years, I've turned into the media guy, and I do all the photo shoots and do videography and all the motivational Mondays that you see every Monday. I'm the one that creates them for you guys so that you guys can be inspired. And I love this program.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for introducing yourselves. And we are actually going to turn things right over to Puente and Gerardo, and he'll introduce himself and tell you a little bit about the organization. We'll jump right into things. So it's all yours.
Thank you so much, everyone. We're really excited to be here to share our presentation with everyone watching, everybody who will be watching after we finish this meeting. A little bit about myself, and also we'll introduce one of the other members of my organization who is here helping present as well. My name is Gerardo Gamino. I am from Los Angeles, California, and my parents are from Guadalajara, Jalisco, in Mexico. I am currently a BYU student, so that's Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah, studying physiology and developmental biology. The plan will be to apply to med school this coming year and pursue a career in medicine. I am very passionate about the message we're going to share with you guys today. I think it's something our community needs to hear. Not only the students in our community, but the parents as well. As you know, this is a parent night, so hopefully, if it's possible, we might get some involvement from parents who might be watching now, or anybody who might be tuning in. We'd love for you guys to interact with us. We'd love for you guys to ask questions, hacer preguntas, ¿no? Tener confianza en hacer preguntas que tal vez nos da miedo o temor, o no queremos ser la persona que hace esa pregunta, pero por favor, padres, hagan las preguntas. Nosotros estamos aquí para servirles. So please, everyone, be very comfortable, be very ready to ask your questions. We're not going to throw down or shoot away any questions. We'll try to answer as best as we can, and maybe different people from your organization and LIA, maybe they'll have a better perspective than we will. And we just want to collaborate and really, again, like I said at the beginning, transmit this very important message that we have for you guys today. So before I kind of take you guys through that presentation, I want to introduce Mari, who will talk a little bit about herself, but she's one of our members at Puente, and I'll let her introduce herself now. So go for it, Mari.
Hi guys, we're so excited to be here, and we always love being able to interact with LA students as well as the people that run the organization, who are really our mentors and we look up to so much. So we're so grateful for being here. So like Jerry said, my name is Mari, Marieli Rojas. I was born and raised in New England, so I was raised in New Hampshire. Born in Boston, and my parents, both of them, are from Guatemala. So like Jay, I'm also a college student as well as a first generation American, and obviously that comes with its different different challenges when it comes to college. I think the number one thing that we want you guys to take away from this is that we've been there. Like, we've gone through this experience, we've gone through the college process, we've gone through the many obstacles that maybe you are facing today. And we just want you to, like Jerry said, be comfortable with asking questions, be comfortable with opening up about maybe doubts or concerns that you have, and hopefully we can answer those to the best of our ability. We're so excited to be here, and hopefully you guys will be able to participate and interact so that we can all learn from one another.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Alrighty, can everybody see that?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, awesome. Awesome, so the message and the presentation we'll have for you guys today is on what you see right in front of you. Mi camino hacia la universidad. Or in other words, my path to college. Now, I want everyone to have in mind that this path to college, tu camino al colegio, a la universidad más bien, will look a little different for anyone. For me, for Mari, for everyone who's in LA leadership, and all of you students who are getting ready to take that step, this path will look different. And don't feel like you have to follow one set right path that you might have in your mind. Hay muchos caminos correctos. Y como pueden ver aquí, as you guys can see, we have a lot of different universities, schools, trade schools, community colleges represented. Maybe you see some that you're familiar with in your own state, or perhaps you see one that you might be interested into applying, right? And you might see one that you've never thought about applying, and it would be really cool for you to apply to that school, but maybe you've just been a little scared to kind of make that decision. Any one of these paths of higher education, whether it be community college, whether it be a four-year university, whether it be a trade school, is a right path. Estos caminos que ven enfrente de ustedes, si es una universidad de 4 años, si es una escuela donde enseñan profesiones, o tal vez si es una universidad o colegio de 2 años nomás, estos caminos son buenos. Son caminos que van a ayudar que cada uno de ustedes pueden recibir aún más conocimiento y conocimiento que puedan aplicar a una carrera. So these paths here, guys, will really help you in your future career and your future career choices. Here is kind of an overview of the things we'll be talking to. We're just going to break it up into 3 main topics: academic, standardized tests, extracurricular activities. Each one of these are something very important in their own respect, and they work together in making, or actually I say forming, that path that you'll need to take to higher education. So we'll start with academics, and that'll have to do with everything school related, everything in your classes right now in high school, wherever you find yourself at. Maybe it's a little earlier than high school. Then we'll talk about standardized exams. Now, these are mainly for those who are interested in a 4-year university. And then activities you can do outside of your classroom that will really help you show these schools, whatever they are, that you'll be applying to, who you are, and it'll demonstrate a little bit more about yourself, your interests, and things you dedicate yourself to. So academics. I'll pass the mic over to Mari, and she can kind of give us a run through this first point.
All right, guys. So this is obviously something, I think when I was in high school, it was the number one thing that I worried about, was my grades. It was the school aspect of school, no? So there's a lot that comes with it. Now, when you go and apply for college, there's going to be a lot of things that can stand out in your application, and we'll talk kind of more about the other things that Jerry has mentioned. But obviously, one of the most important ones is your grades. Now, there are a couple things that you guys can kind of do to make it so that you get the most out of your high school career. One of those things, like we say here, is el rigor de clases, or class rigor. So you, as individuals, know what you can take on. And what I mean by that is, if you are, so I don't know how it works in your specific high school, but for me, there was like algebra 1, and then there was like two different sections. There was one that was a little bit slower paced, one that was a little bit faster paced, and then, right? And you should be stretching yourself. You should take this time to really strive to get the most out of the classes that your high school has to offer. These can mean, like I said, AP, or I said honors, AP classes that are going to help you really to prepare for college, and they're going to help in your application. So that colleges can see, like, wow, this student really put in the effort, and they were willing to work a little bit harder towards their academics, right? And that's something that you definitely want to show these universities. I don't know what your specific schools offer, but I know that the majority of the schools that we have presented at and have worked with offer also dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is an amazing opportunity to get college credit for such a cheaper price. If you guys don't know what that is classes that you can take during high school that are college level courses, and then you can get college credit for those classes that you take. These things are extremely important. Now, for example, myself, I was awful at science, unlike Jerry, and so I just took your basic, science class. But in psychology, I took AP psychology. I cheated a little, and I took AP Spanish as well, which is also, something to look into, and just different classes where you feel more comfortable and where you feel you can stretch yourself more, whether that be history, whether that be science, math. Just make sure that you are really looking into, okay, like, could I be a little harder? Could I be in a different level class? And that will really make a difference. The second thing on this slide is, like we said, university credit classes. I don't think that you really appreciate these classes as much up until you are in college and you realize how expensive college can be. But really, really ask your teachers, go out of your way, ask school counselors. I know there's a lot of college kind of centers, college career centers located at your high schools where you can find out about these dual enrollment classes that will not only make your life easier in college, but that will save you a lot of money. And last but definitely not least, we want to talk about GPA. Now, GPA is something that can seem like, oh my goodness, like, this is so important, and this is something that maybe you stress out about a lot, having a 4.0 or whatever your personal goal is. I think the most important thing with GPA is that you just need to do your best. You're not going to be great at every class, and if you are, congratulations. But I was not one of those students that was perfect in every class. I had to work a little bit harder in each of my classes, but I can guarantee you and promise you that if you do everything in your personal power to get that GPA at a good place, not only will you be working on yourself, your study skills, and be stretching yourself and your ability to work hard, but it will also look good on these college applications. Which is something extremely important. And always remember that even if you're not going to a four-year college, even if you may be doing a trade or whatever it may be, these things are just as important. And they teach you not only about school and academics, but they teach you great life skills as well. So we hope that you're able to to take into consideration these options that we've kind of talked about. And again, if you have any questions while we're talking, please feel free to ask. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. We take the time to talk about this not only because it's a big determinant of application to college, to a four-year university, but we talk about it also to help you guys understand that what you're learning in high school, what you're learning right now, and perhaps the connections to your life, the connections to who you want to be career-wise, maybe aren't so clear from what you're learning right now. But we want to let you know that right now you're setting that foundation, and the amount of effort you're putting into the classes that are reflected in your GPA, or the amount of effort that are reflected in how many AP classes or dual enrollment classes you might be in, is a reflection of your desire to learn and your desire to keep learning. So we want you guys to not only focus about letter grades, focus about, you know, how to get your highest GPA or how to pass AP exams. We want you guys to really make that transition from learning for a grade to learning what you will need to be a successful professional. So keep that in mind. We think that's really important, and it's a big shame if we don't make that transition and understand that what we're learning now isn't just for that grade. It isn't to get us into somewhere. It's building us. It's strengthening us. It's helping us be better professionals, be better citizens. Wherever you find yourself. I think Mari did a great job of touching on these three different points that you see here. Again, like we touched in the beginning, and we're going to keep touching through this presentation, there's different paths that you might take. You heard Mari's side. My side's a little different. I tried to do a little bit more in terms of pushing myself in the rigor of classes. I took AP classes. I strived for that kind of learning, for that level of learning. And I think that's something all of us might be thinking about. Maybe we're scared to take those classes because we hear they're harder. But we can do that. We can push ourselves to learn at a higher level. And I'd invite everyone who's thinking about doing that to push themselves to take those harder classes, because it will make you stand out on a college application. It will demonstrate to a university that, hey, you are someone who's trying to push themselves in learning. Just a really, really quick breakdown of what a GPA is, and this is mainly for parents. So I might switch over to a little bit of Spanish here, because this might be not something that a lot of parents are aware of or kind of understand. So we see GPA. ¿Y qué es? Y como ven aquí enfrente de ustedes, es un promedio de calificaciones. Y las escuelas usan este promedio para ver qué bien el estudiante se ha esforzado en sus clases. Cada clase recibe un puntaje y esos puntajes, como ven aquí, están coordinados con las calificaciones que reciben. Sea A, B, C, D. Esas son las calificaciones que sus hijos están recibiendo y tienen puntajes. A recibe 4 puntos, B 3, C 2 y D 1. Y usando estos puntos, este GPA, este promedio, se calcula, y este promedio es lo que las universidades usan para saber, como dije, qué tipo de esfuerzo su estudiante ha puesto en sus clases. Obviamente un GPA más alto demuestra más esfuerzo que un GPA más bajo. Y la razón por qué esto es importante es que realmente es una de las grandes cosas que las universidades ven y ponen atención para poder admitir a un estudiante en sus universidades. Si el GPA no refleja lo que las universidades quieren para sus estudiantes que van a ingresar, pues va a ser más difícil para ese estudiante ingresar a esa universidad. Es muy importante que ustedes con sus hijos se puedan enfocar en ayudar que este GPA puede ser lo más alto posible, y la forma de hacer eso es que sus estudiantes se esfuerzan más, lo más que puedan, en sus clases. I'm making a little transition now to standardized tests. Standardized tests, really, like I mentioned when I was going over the agenda, are more for those who are interested in four-year universities. Now, you don't only have to take the ACT or SAT because you want to get into a four-year university. It's a good experience for standardized testing that many of you might find yourselves taking in college. There are more standardized tests to come afterward, especially if you want to get into graduate school. Graduate school is anything you want to study after your undergraduate experience, right? Those first 4 years in college. Now, the SAT and the ACT are tests that are going to test you on everything that you've learned in your English and your math classes, and then the ACT actually tests you a little bit more on science as well, and they add that into it, and even your writing ability. So both of these tests are used to measure how much you know. And everybody in the country takes these tests. These are the tests accepted by universities. So you'll take this test and you'll get a score back, and you'll use this score when you're applying to a university. Obviously, just like GPA, the higher this test score is, the better your chances are of getting into that university you're applying to, right? Universities love to see really high scores. However, don't feel like if you don't get a high score, your chances are shot, because that's not true. We encourage everyone to take this exam, to study for it, to prep for it. And again, we're not going into those specifics right now, but if any of you have questions about how to go about studying these things, we can definitely talk about them as we move forward. And we open up for questions at the end of the presentation. But doing well in these exams matters. I have some information here about these exams, just the price range. You see for the SAT, it's about $50 to $65. The ACT, $46 to $63. Now that's a good chunk of money, but it's an investment, right? It's an investment into your future, because you need these scores a lot of the times to apply to certain schools. Now understand that depending on the policies of your state, maybe the city that you live in, you could get discounts for these exams. I know the College Board website, which is for the SAT, like you see there at the bottom, offers discounts on these exams for those who find themselves in financial need. And I believe the ACT does that as well. There you see the duration of the exam. It's about 3.5 to 4.5 hours. And then again, there are the highest possible scores. Now again, we really encourage everyone to take these exams, because again, they're really important for any of you who are planning to apply to a four-year university. All right, we want to take a pause. Sorry, what was that, Mari?
Something that I just wanted to emphasize is don't ever not an opportunity because you're worrying about financial expenses. One of the many benefits of living in this country is that there's so many opportunities to have these costs either covered or, like Jerry had mentioned, have them discounted. And it's important that you guys understand that there are opportunities to have this. It's not something that is extremely difficult to get. I know that I took both of these. I took the PSAT and the SAT completely free of charge. And these are things that I think a lot of schools will have, even like an SAT day where you go and you take the exam just for free and the school will cover it. So just if you have any questions or doubt about money, please always reach out to your school counselors. I'm sure anyone from LIA can point you in the right direction, and we're always here to help as well. So don't ever not do these things for financial reasons. There's always a way to overcome that obstacle.
Thank you, Mari, for adding that. I think she brings up a great point. And I'll kind of reemphasize what she was saying in Spanish. Muchas veces nosotros, tal vez como padres, nos preocupamos por cómo vamos a pagar por estas cosas, ¿no? Cómo vamos a poder proveer para las necesidades escolares para nuestros hijos. Y como estaba diciendo Mari, algo importante para recordar es que en este país hay oportunidad. Hay oportunidad que viene a esas personas que buscan esas oportunidades. Como mencioné anteriormente, muchos de los dos exámenes que yo estaba compartiendo, esos exámenes se pueden tomar a precios reducidos si uno va e investiga en los sitios de web de esos exámenes cómo es que puedo recibir un descuento. Y eso de recibir ayuda financiera en aplicar a la universidad, o tal vez para los exámenes de la universidad, es algo muy común en esas personas que están en necesidad financiera. Las personas que buscan estas oportunidades son las personas que van a recibir esa ayuda. Ahora podemos hablar más al final de esa presentación en cómo recibir esa ayuda para aplicar o tal vez para tomar esos exámenes, pero sí hay esa ayuda. Uno solamente tiene que buscar esas oportunidades. All right, so, ¿qué puedo hacer ahora, right? What can I do right now? So say you are applying. We'll take to those people who are, those students who are on the end of their college or their high school careers, right? Maybe you're a senior, maybe you're a junior right now. And perhaps you're in the process of applying, or perhaps you're getting close to it. What can you do? So if you haven't applied and you're not in that process of applying, now is the time for you to prepare to apply. If that is something that you feel like you want to do, whether that be, again, the trade school, the community college, the four-year university, prepare. Now, based on what we just said, academically, you want to do well in the rest of the classes that you have. Now, if that is your senior year, finish strong. This semester and the next semester that you'll have, make sure you do your best in those classes and get good grades. Now, for those of you who might be juniors, sophomores, or freshmen, obviously strive to do well in your classes and maybe make the decision to take harder classes next semester. Sign up for AP if your schools offer that. Look for concurrent enrollment classes like Mari was talking about, so you can get some college credit. So you can enter college already with some credits to your name moving forward in your learning. As well, if you're before maybe high school, I know some of us watching right now, maybe in middle school, start thinking about your game plan moving into high school. Think about what kind of classes you want to take. Think about the requirements that your high school has, and think about those classes that you can take to push yourself as well. And then dedicate yourself to doing well in those classes that you choose to take. Find resources that you might need. Obviously, you students know yourselves. If you are one who struggles a little bit more, find those who can help you do well in those classes. Touching on the point of standardized exams, this is mainly for those who are in high school. If you're earlier on, sophomore, freshman, start studying. I know it might be a little early in your mind. Start studying for these exams. Pick up a an ACT prep book, an SAT prep book. I know a lot of schools have them in their libraries. And start studying it, start looking through it, start looking at practice questions, start learning all you can about the exam so you can do well when that time comes. For those of you on the later end of high school, sign up to take this exam. And with the time that you do have before you take that exam, study. Make sure you try to do well on these exams and find the help that you might need. All right. For any of you who are dreading what we were talking about right now, about SAT, standardized exams, academics, you can rest easy. All right, we're kind of done with that portion of our presentation. And in my opinion, we're going to start talking about the fun things that we can dedicate ourselves to that will help us get into college. All right, and these are extracurricular activities.
This is probably one of the really fun parts of high school. I know that a lot of people are really into sports. Maybe you're in the school band, orchestra, drama club, whatever it may be. It's really so important to know the importance of these things. So before going into the types of activities, I just want to point out something that actually Jerry has mentioned so many times in our other presentations. It's made me think a lot. We also have another member of Puente who actually got to work with the kind of the applicants, like going through applications and stuff at her school, and she was able to talk to the people that read through college applications. For the most part, all these applications are going to look very similar. They're going to have a GPA, they're going to have grades, your high school transcript, they're going to have your SAT score, ACT score, and this is the part where you get to stand out. This is the part where they get to know you as an individual, who you are, the type of person you are, the personality, have your interests, your hobbies. And it's so important to be able to communicate that to them through the things that you do throughout your high school career. Now, the cool thing about high school is that there's so many different types of activities where you can participate to what you like. I think if I had to play on any sports team, I would be absolutely miserable. I am not good at sports. I'm not coordinated. I'm not athletic in any way. However, there were so many other things that I was able to do that I genuinely enjoyed. And Jerry will talk about his activities that he participated in that he really liked. But for me, it was community service. It was working with special education students. It was, I think it was called International Club, where there's a bunch of people that were from different parts of the world, or even if you were from here, sharing backgrounds and cultures. We also did, what else did I do? Oh, I think I did Special Olympics, that's what it's called. They had like a Special Olympics team in my school. And so many different things that I genuinely enjoyed. There were things that I would go to and that I liked participating. I loved to get to know people in these clubs. And it doesn't have to be something that you don't like, right? I think that's the number one thing that I want to emphasize. You should be involved in something that you enjoy, and that really speaks to who you are as an individual, as a student, as a person. These things not only help you for a college application. Again, we want to get out of that mentality of like, oh, we're going to do all these things so that, we can go to college. These things help you to be better individuals, better, like Jerry said, better citizens of the towns that you live in. You are able to give service to the communities. Many times you're able to interact with people within your community. You're able to learn new skills, new hobbies. So really take advantage of all the clubs and all the different activities that your school has to offer. And like I said, get out of the mentality of I'm just doing this for an application. Do this to have fun. Do this to make friends. Do this to learn. And I love learning. I'm going into teaching, and I think it's just so important to learn academics, but it's also so important to learn these things, right? I love that from Joaquin. It said, this is my favorite part of high school. And it is. It's one of the best parts. I've met some of my greatest friends in random after school activities. So please take advantage of these things and enjoy the time that you have to participate in them now, because reality is that college is pretty busy, and so you don't have as much time to participate in these things. So take advantage of these opportunities.
Thank you, Molly. She's exactly right, guys. This time that you have in high school isn't just time to focus on academics. It's time to focus on what really makes you you. You're finding out a lot of your interests. When I started high school, I thought about, okay, what are all of the things I can get involved in? And I was very eager, and I tried to sign up for all of the clubs during club booth day. And I started to notice that my interests and the things that I was really dedicated to started to boil down to a few very important activities. And I want to talk about that because it's something really important to keep in mind in terms of applying to a university. You might think that those who have more activities under their belt, or who are participating in more things, have better chances of getting to the university, and that's not true. What universities and colleges want to see is your dedication to things that are important to you. Like Mari was saying, join clubs, join groups, participate in activities that are important to you. And my 2 cents on top of that would be, and do them for as much time as you can. If you're really into them and you're really interested in that, show that by participating in it frequently and over a long period of time. The more you dedicate to these few activities that you're really passionate about, will show that level of passion to those universities. Obviously, these experiences that you have during these activities are a lot of the things you guys will write your essays on for a college application. So again, the more time you spend on what you're passionate about, the better. And universities will see that. All right.
Sorry, can I just add something? No sé
Yeah,
si
go for it, Mari.
hay padres que están escuchando, pero creo que muchas veces dentro de nuestras comunidades latinas estamos acostumbrados a, pues lo importante de la escuela es la escuela, lo académico, las notas, el GPA, y como dijo Cherry, estas cosas son la base de una aplicación para ir a la universidad, ¿no? Son muy importantes. Pero yo diría que las actividades como deportes, tocar instrumentos, los diferentes grupos que tienen que ofrecer las escuelas son igual, o sea, son igual de importantes, porque van a demostrarle a estas personas que leen las aplicaciones de sus hijos lo que ellos pueden ofrecer a sus comunidades, a sus universidades. Puede demostrar sus intereses, pueden demostrar que este estudiante tal vez no tuvo un 4.0 GPA o no tuvo notas perfectas, pero se esforzó por servir a su comunidad, se esforzó por ser capitán tal vez de su equipo de fútbol o lo que sea. Estas actividades son esenciales y son una parte realmente clave de las aplicaciones que van a llenar sus hijos. Entonces, nunca piensen que esto va a distraer de sus notas. Yo creo que a mí me ha ayudado, estos clubes me han enseñado independencia, me han ayudado a servir a mi comunidad, me han enseñado muchas cosas que yo he usado ahora y en el futuro. Yo sé que los voy a usar. Entonces, como padres debemos de dejar que nuestros hijos participen y, ¿cómo se dice? Y empujarlos a que puedan participar en esas actividades, que ellos puedan disfrutar y puedan participar con classmates, con amigos, con otras personas dentro de sus escuelas. Entonces, como padres, por favor, nunca olviden la importancia de estas actividades.
Awesome. One more thing about these activities: if you're earlier on and you're barely starting to get involved in extracurricular activities, I really recommend that you start keeping a record of how much time you're spending on these activities. I only mention that because it's going to be something really important come application time, where these applications will talk or are asked about how much time you have spent. So if you keep a record as you're doing it, that'll be a very easy part of the application for you to complete because you'll have that time recorded already. Great. So regardless of what activities you are passionate about, it is important for you to demonstrate leadership and service in those activities. Now, if you see in the back, we have a very lovely class of LIA students from one of the schools that we go and present to. Now, if you yourself are an LIA student, I mean, understand that you're already at an advantage here. Your organization is one of leadership and service within your community. So really pat yourself on the back. You're already doing this.
Jerry,
It's really important.
sorry,
Go for it.
someone has a question. Is it, sorry, I called you Joaquin earlier. Is it Joaquin? Let's see. Go ahead and ask your.
Yeah, it's Joaquina. Hi, I'm a junior at Fort Lauderdale High School. I'm co-president of Latinos in Action, and I'm involved in so many other clubs. But I've obviously filtered out the ones that I actually care about, so I'm focusing on those now. And I know you mentioned keeping record of how much time we spend. Do you mean like how long we've been doing them, or like how many hours we spent volunteering?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. And to clarify, you want to keep a record really of how many hours you're dedicating to this. I know a lot of the applications that I have experience with, that I applied through, ask about hours per week that you have been dedicating to this, and as well as how many total hours perhaps you have dedicated to this activity.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so back on this topic of leadership and service. So in these activities that you're involved in, it's really, really important to find leadership roles and service roles that you can get involved with. Now, leadership, you might think you need to be perhaps like Joaquina is the co-president of your LIA chapter. Now, that is amazing. And congrats to anybody who's filling that role. But not all of us will be. And for those who aren't, understand that there's other ways to be a leader. There's other ways to give service. Now, when I talk about service, service can come in many ways, right? You can be dedicated to, food drives or cleaning up your local parks and all of the other types of service that you can think of. And in terms of leadership, I think we struggle a little bit more to think about how what we're doing is leadership. So maybe some of you are dedicated to working. Maybe you have a job right now that you're in high school, and maybe that job is to help you pay for the things that you want. Maybe you find yourself in that difficult situation that I found myself in when I was in high school, that we were working a little bit to help our parents out, right? And that takes some of our time. And if you didn't know it, that's leadership. You taking the time and dedicating yourself to work and for perhaps a cause of, like I mentioned before, that's leadership. That is demonstrating that you are dedicating your time to contribute to a cause and you are proactive about it. Perhaps you're in charge of taking care or babysitting your siblings. That is leadership. Now, I don't say, right on your application that the only leadership thing that you've been doing is babysitting your siblings, but I do want you to understand that that is leadership and that is important, and that's something that you can talk about on a college application. These universities understand that the students who apply are coming from all walks of life, and some opportunities might not be presented to you because you're dedicated to other things, or that you have to focus on certain things. So you don't have the time to go be student body president or captain of whatever soccer team, right? Or sports team. But you can find leadership in what you're already doing and in things that are doable for you. But again, regardless of those activities that you are involved in, it is important for colleges to see how you are being a leader and that you are serving your community. All right, very quickly, I want you guys to understand that the summers that you have in between your college years are really important. I know many of us kind of like the summer to kind of kick back and spend that time just focusing on maybe our hobbies or just really relaxing. But I'd propose to you guys to think about how you can fill those summers, those times off, those breaks with meaningful activities that can not only deepen your passions, further your interests, but can help you demonstrate to a university that you're really dedicated to the things that you want to learn, the things that you want to be involved with. Okay, and I'm talking about internships. Now, these can be business internships, they can be science-related internships, medicine, engineering. Think about what you want to study, and I guarantee you there's some sort of internship for that thing available to high school students. Now, I really want to make you guys aware that a lot of these internships are internships that offer, not all of them, but offer some sort of financial help for you to participate in that internship. I know through the pandemic that we're going through right now, a lot of these high school internships have been working remotely, and a lot of students have been participating in internships, through their computers, through Zoom, through any means they can from where they are. I'd invite all of you to look into that, look into what opportunities are available, and perhaps if you are one of those students who, wants to stay home or has to stay home. I mean, I think right now during this time, all of us have to, right? I think these opportunities are perfect if we search them out, how we can get involved in these cool programs right from our living room. And when things open up again, that we can go to these places. I know you guys see the pictures in front of you. That's a picture from one of the internships I did in high school, where we got some time to work with legislators in California, and that was awesome. It was a great experience for me, and it was something that I definitely talked about on my college application. And understand that a lot of these internships are really looking for diversity. They're looking for students who come from underserved communities, and that's your low income, that's your members of minority groups, that's us. That is who we are, right? We are Latinos, we are Hispanics, we are members of a minority group in this country, and that's not something to be ashamed about or to be worried about. That's something to really take pride in. And a lot of these programs want students like us who have a different view on the American experience. They want to see our view, and they want that part of their program. I kind of talked about this before, but I just want to highlight this again. If you find yourself worried about anything that we've talked about, there is help. There is help academically. You can talk to your counselors about maybe moving around your schedule, taking harder classes, or finding what best suits you. You can find tutoring for those classes that are a little hard, and you can find tutoring for these standardized exams, the ACT, the SAT. Something that I think a lot of students don't realize is that you can find a lot of help in people who have walked the path that you are trying to walk right now. Mentors. Maybe you have a teacher that you really connected with and has been helping you through the college process. Maybe it's your LIA teacher. Maybe it's someone you've met in the LA leadership who you really bonded with and have acted like a mentor for you. Take advantage of people who have walked your path and who help you navigate it now. I have us as an organization, Puente, and at the end of this presentation, we'll share our contact information. We focus our time on helping you guys not only get ready for college, but to apply and to transition and to really walk through that process successfully. So count on us to also help you, and we'd love to be there to help you through this process as well.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Never be afraid to reach out. Teachers are awesome. And there's a lot of, I can think of several teachers that helped me throughout the process, and they are there to support you. They're there to guide you along the way. They're there to answer your questions. So please take advantage of those opportunities, like Jerry was saying, and know that they want to help you. They're there to help you. That's their job, and that's what they're passionate about. That's what they want to do. And so never be shy to reach out. Never be afraid to reach out. Obviously, we're here as an organization, and I know with a certainty that everyone in LA, all the leadership, all the teachers that we've gotten to work with are more than willing to help as well. It looks like we have a question, so let me go ahead and pull that up. This is from Carla. She says, do you have a list of internship opportunities? Is there one by state? That's a great question. I think just researching online, correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, along the way, but I'm pretty sure if you just go online and look for different internship and research opportunities that you'll be able to find them. I never participated in them, so I'll leave that question up to Jerry.
Yeah, so this might sound funny to you guys, but very simply, when I was in high school, what I did to find these opportunities was open up Google and type high school internships for Latino students. Then I looked at what I found on those search results, and I found tons of things that directed me of internships in California, that directed me to internships for specific majors, for specific topics of study. Honestly, it might sound so simple, but it is something so effective. A Google search can go a long way. And I guarantee you, through that Google search, you're going to find more opportunities than you can apply to. So I would say start there.
If I could just jump in as well, Latinos in Action has a list of professional contacts to come and present to classes. Now, that's not a list of internship contacts, but opening that up for students to meet professionals, especially in their local area, can often lead to internships as well. I know Diego had wanted to share out. I don't know if you had a question or just wanted to share, but Diego, did you want to share your thoughts as well? Just in general.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, my name is Diego Roa. I'm a senior at North High School. I'm actually the president of Latinos in Action class. So yeah, I really like the presentation, very interesting. So I had a question, it was for the final. Is there any scholarship or any source of financial aid that is, it is for Latinos?
There's tons, actually. So in being a part of Puente, obviously when we started, that was a question that we got a lot. That's one of the biggest questions. It's one of the most important questions that we get is like, how are we going to pay for school? How are we going to pay for internships? How are we going to pay for all the expenses that college that comes with attending a university? Yes, the answer is yes, absolutely. I know we have a list of them. I think they're even typed up actually, if I remember correctly. But if you literally, just like Jerry said, if you go into the Google search bar, you type in scholarship opportunities for Latinos, and some of them are like super random. It'll be like, oh, write a 500-word essay on a topic, or it'll say, if you participated in band for 4 years, you can apply for the scholarship. If you're a first-generation American, if you read this book and write a report on it, there's so much money that you can get just off of these. Another thing we want to emphasize, continuing with that topic, is that on our team of Puente, we have DACA students, we have students that are not documented, we have students that have been born here, we have students that were maybe born in, Mexico and then came over here, and we each have gotten an opportunity to receive a scholarship, whatever our status was, whatever our personal situation was. And so I also want to emphasize that there's scholarship opportunities. You can't necessarily get Pell Grants. Of those situations, hang different private scholarships just by writing essays or doing these really simple things. So that's a great question. Again, I would go into Google, I would search scholarship opportunities for Latinos. You could do it for your specific state. You could do it for just in general. But there are tons and tons of opportunities for everybody, really, in this country. So take advantage of them for sure. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, adding on to what Mari said, definitely, if you're one of those who, has the opportunity or in that situation where you can apply for FAFSA, do so. That is a great starting point, and I know a lot of you will have to do that as you get accepted into the university and apply for financial aid through your schools. Something else for specifically for Hispanics, like we are, the Hispanic Scholarship Fund is a great stepping off point. And if you just type that into Google, Hispanic Scholarship Fund, they offer scholarships themselves, but they have a lot of great resources to point you in the right direction as well. So if that Google search gives you time, try them. They do really gather resources specifically for our community. There are tons of scholarships. Now, Diego, if you want to go more into this, you can either send us an email, talk to us a little after this meeting, and we can talk more about that. But again, there are a lot of opportunities out there. You just need to look for them. And if you are one of those students who find yourself in financial need, there's so many scholarships for those who are having hard times financially. If they come from low means families like I did, I'm going to college right now without any debt. Now that's amazing, and I am so grateful for that, but it's only because I worked my butt off to make it that way. So that's the real message here, guys. There is opportunity. Now you know. It's now on us to decide what we're willing to do with those opportunities and how far we want those opportunities to take us. And again, that's based on our effort and the help of really great mentors.
Great, thank you so much for that. Please, can you put again like the screen for your contact information? I didn't. I mean, I didn't have a chance to take a
Yeah.
picture.
I'll put that. I'll share my screen again.
All right, thanks.
Guys, remember also LIA offers some scholarships, so keep an eye out for that. Especially like, you know, we mentioned extracurriculars. There's an art scholarship. There's a what else, Kayla? There's a lot.
a visual arts competition, a writing competition, and a short film competition that we have each year. We're actually going to be opening up in January, and that will have prize money for the winners, as well as the LI scholarship, which is open to Latinos in Action students that are seniors in high school. It's open to students regardless of their legal status, so undocumented students are welcome to apply to that as well.
Awesome. Well, we just want to thank everybody who participated in this presentation and who tuned in and who asked questions. Thank you for being a part of this, and we really hope that your path in higher education is one that will come with hard work, but will come with many rewards and many accolades along the way. As students who are going through it ourselves, we can tell you it is challenging at times, but again, this is something that we can do. And as we are going to be the future leaders of our communities, we should do all we can to be good leaders and doing that through education. So thank you guys again for participating. I don't know what the time restraint is for this presentation, but you know, if it's possible, we'll stick around and answer any more questions anybody might have. So thank you again. Thank you to LIA for letting us share this message with you guys.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining us. The presentation's officially over, but like Gerardo said, if you have any other questions for them and you know, you want to talk and follow up, you can stay on here, or you know, shoot them a message, email, connect with them on social media.